If you've been watching my videos for a while, you've probably noticed a pattern. Most of the lawn and garden equipment I review to repair tends to come from the same big-name homeowner brands. You know, the ones I'm talking about. The ones you see stacked high at every hardware store, the big box stores, flying off the shelves, but then landing right back in my shop with all sorts of issues. Don't get me wrong, they're popular for a reason. They're affordable and accessible, but when it comes to quality, well, let's just say they keep me in business for all the wrong reasons. Cheap parts, flimsy builds, and breakdowns that happen way too soon. But today, I'm switching gears, and I'm diving into something different. Some of the best outdoor power lawn and garden equipment you can actually buy. And here's the kicker. There are certain small engine brands you'll almost never see in my repair videos. Why? Because they're built so well. They just don't break down like the rest. These are the hidden gems, the machines that quietly outlast and outperform the usual suspects. So stick around as I walk you through what makes this brand stand out.
Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into Chickanic. I hope everybody's having a great week. When you think American made, this is where it starts. Hang out with me today while we tour the Swisher mower factory here in Warrensburg, Missouri. Guys, today we're looking at American steel being turned into some of the most awesome mowers, attachments, pull-behinds, and even shelters you've ever seen. Once all the steel gets delivered completely raw, everything, depending on where it's going to go in the factory, comes through here to be cut. It's either sent over to be bent, shaped, painted, or finished out.
So we brought in the first laser, which is a 4 kilowatt machine. We were actually able to eliminate one of the turrets and take that production plus components, because a turret has special tooling to punch at certain angles. So there are certain components that we just didn't, with our tooling, didn't have the capacity to make. With the laser, it eliminated that, so we bring that production back in-house. So at the time before we put in the first laser, we had about $800,000 of production we had to buy from outside shops. When we brought that laser, we brought in about $600,000 of that production back in-house to keep our team busy. In addition, when you're developing a new product and you've got prototypes, anybody that's ever had to buy a prototype component, it's 8 or 10 times the price of a production part. 10-12-week lead time, so it really added to the delay on projects. When we brought that laser in, we could program a part that morning, cut it that day, and have it in the test that afternoon. Excellent. Or if we had an issue that came up in a field, a cracking problem, something that we didn't anticipate during testing, we could develop components, correction for it, and then move on without all that lead time and that extra expense. So then eventually, we had this new laser we put in last spring, and we added a second laser to increase our capacity.
Okay.
But again, you can put 8,000 pounds of steel over here. Set the program, turn out the lights, hit the start button, and go home.
Exactly.
I come in the next morning and everything is cut.
Yep, that's awesome. The company has 2 laser cutters going all the time, cutting out parts for all their different pieces of equipment. This is what true fabrication looks like, guys. Why do I feel like a kid in the candy store? All right, who's got press envy? This girl right here. Do you think I can get one of these to fit in my shop?
Formed it. Now it is staged to go into welding, and that will become our CP4K brush cutter.
Wow.
which is a 4-wheel, 44-inch brush cutter. And all of our brush cutters, whether it's 2-wheel or 4-wheel, are all designed to take down up to 3-inch trees.
Wow, yeah. And not being biased or anything, but Swisher literally puts out some of the best welds in the world. All right, I've got Rick and Mike here, some of the master welders. If you have ever seen a Swisher weld, you will be envious. These are the guys who do it. And last we have finishing, where these parts get hung, washed, and painted.
In our finishing department, the product has already come through fabrication or welding. The next progression is the finishing department. They're going to bring the components in here. They will do any prep, any cleanup, weld slag removal. Then they will hang it onto the powder coat line that will go through a 3-stage wash. First stage is a phosphate etch, which cleans and etches the material. Second stage is a rinse, and the third stage is a sealer that prevents the flash rusting on the steel, because the steel has to be perfectly clean for the powder coat to bond to the steel. We're going to go past the cleaning process, the dry off oven, and then into the powder coat room.
Once it gets powder coated, it comes through here and into the oven. Now, Swisher doesn't just make parts for Swisher. They make parts for companies all over the United States. These brackets right here are going to Ingersoll Rand. Anybody got one of those air compressors? I do. Now, I am visiting on President's Day, and it's a little slow today because they don't have the whole production line set up. But normally when these parts would come off from being painted, they're ready to go right here. This is where they start getting assembled.
So the assembly line is very much set up along an automotive style concept where the product is moving on the overhead conveyor. We have work cells laid out. We have the work instructions where each cell has a certain task that's done, and it just progressively goes through, just like you build a car, basically, in our process. So we have engines that are pre-staged for production run. Those happen to be the Kawasaki 14.5 horse V twins, actually produced in Maryville, Missouri. So we've got them pre-built, the mufflers installed, they're staged, ready for the production to come down the line when we're running the tow behind rough cuts. The Kawasaki engines we purchase are made at the Maryville, Missouri manufacturing plant. We do not import any engines for our production. All of our engines are manufactured stateside.
Once assembled, it is put down the line, tested. They even build their own pallets to do their shipping with, all the way out to the shipment center. And last but not least, you have a full warehouse of units getting ready to be shipped out all over the United States. With Swisher quality, you're gonna get the job done. So guys, where am I now? Not only does Swisher make some of the best outdoor power equipment you can buy, period, they got into the business of tornado storm shelters. Check these out. Now these come in a assortment of sizes depending on how many people you need to protect. But this is the 9-person emergency security preparedness safety shelter. These are made with 7-gauge steel, and you can buy a lot of accessories for them also. Now, when these are shipped to you, they don't come as a big box. It comes as panels that you get to put together yourself, because a lot of times you can't get this gigantic box inside your house or your shop, wherever you're planning on keeping it. But don't worry guys, if something actually falls, if the building falls down around you and your door is blocked, you can put an emergency escape panel either on either open end of it. So like on this one, it's right here. All you gotta do is unbolt these panels and get out another way. To show just exactly how strong these shelters are, this one was taken to Texas Tech, where they beamed it with 15-pound 2x4s going at 100 miles an hour. A few little dents, but nothing can penetrate these. Need something to fit in the corner? Don't worry, Swisher's got just what you need. Last but not least, I got to check out their display of finish cut and rough cut mowers. And just to give you a little scope on how big these are, this is their 66-inch cut, powered by a 14.5 horsepower Kawasaki engine, twin cylinder. This beast is for when you want to keep your yard really manicured. That one over there, that's for tearing it down. This rough cut mower will take care of 3-inch saplings. If you're using your zero turn or your tractor that cuts, this thing articulates to where you can not only mow what's right underneath your tractor, but what's off to the side, and it's toolless. You don't even need tools to get it into the position you want.
So guys, I want to truly thank Swisher for inviting me out. It was so awesome. As someone who's been in the parts and repair business for a huge part of my life, getting to experience my own how it's made video was truly magical. And before you ask, no, I'm not getting paid for this review. Swisher, knowing that I am the world's top critic on the quality or decline of quality in outdoor power products, just invited me to come check them out. Why? Because they have nothing to hide and can stand behind their products. As I stood there, watching the hum of the factory floor and the warm exchanges between the people of Swisher, I realized something profound. This wasn't just a company. It wasn't even just a workplace. Now, what I felt in those halls wasn't the cold detachment of employees clocking in and out, but the heartbeat of a family. A family stitched together, not by blood, but by time. 20 years or more for most of them. A testament to loyalty that's rare in a world always chasing the next big thing. Swisher isn't just a name on a building, it's a promise kept. Year after year, as the community hands them award after award for being the best place to work. And why wouldn't they? You can see it in their eyes, hear it in their voices, pride, pure and unfiltered. Pride in the machines they craft, each one a shining example of made in America. Built to last, built to matter. Pride in the service they give, where every customer isn't just a sale but a relationship. That's what Swisher is, a legacy of quality, a family that doesn't just work together, they belong together. And in a world that often forgets what loyalty looks like, Swisher stands tall, reminding us all that some things are still done right.